Yo, it's now been 5 months since the Steam Deck OLED came out, and it's damn near perfect. This device has been brought along with me for every trip I've taken and makes keeping up with my backlog so much easier. These are the best accessories that I've found to pair with the deck and I think are actually worth buying. No matter your use case, I've got something here for you. So right out of the box with the Steam Deck, you're getting a gaming handheld running the Linux-based SteamOS, and while it certainly has its problems, I think that in general, it's a positive. Compared to Windows on the ROG Ally or similar devices, I find it a lot more intuitive. Using the deck as is really easy, but because it is a Linux PC, you can use it as a full desktop computer if you wanted to. With that, I think the first product worth talking about is this JSOCK docking station. This allows you to hook the deck up to an external monitor and connect any needed peripherals. Having this as an on-the-go machine that you can work off makes the most sense, but if you want, games can still be played. This is by no means the most optimal way to play, as even at 1080p, most games would be getting about 30 FPS or lower at the lowest settings, and on a 4K monitor like this one, that image blown up won't look the best. But I think that pairing with a portable monitor and emulating Switch or retro games, you have a really nice setup. Now, the lightweight 142 gram build and small size of the stock makes it really easy to throw in a bag if you're traveling with it. Then once you take it out, the rubber lining will keep the deck protected and held firmly. I don't think it's all that important, but the aluminum frame is very high quality. Plugging in with the vertical adapter keeps the connection clean, and around back you have USB-C pass-through to keep it charged, along with HDMI 2.0 and 3 USB 3 ports. This gives you space for a wireless keyboard, mouse, and even headphones or an external SSD. For me, when I travel, I like to use one of Newfie's Air keyboards as they're light and thin, but still have good keyboard travel. My personal favorite is their Air 75 V2, as this is a very compact form factor that gives me arrow keys, which are great for programming or fixing typos, along with media keys. For a mouse, I think the Superlight 2 is the easiest recommendation I can make for most people. The shape is a safe choice, and I find it comfortable to use. Of course, you can also use a controller just as easily. If you want to play or download games over Ethernet, this dock lets you do that. Using the USB-C pass-through for power, you can of course use the deck's included charger, but I think that Ugreen's 100 watt Nexo power brick is worth considering. This is great as it gives you 2 USB-C ports for the Steam Deck or a laptop, and then an additional for an iPad or phone. This was a no-brainer for me, as I always have so many different devices charging at once, and this lets me consolidate 4 devices into a single outlet. You do need to make sure that you have the proper cables, but Ugreen sells a 3-pack of 6-foot ones for $15, which I think is a pretty good deal. Now, the design of the Steam Deck is one of the main reasons I prefer it over the more powerful ROG Ally. Because my main use case for the deck is travel, I want it to be as comfortable as possible. I love the way the handles wrap around my hands and the feel of the triggers. This 640 gram weight does make it a little chunky, but it's not that bad. Compared to the original, the joysticks on the OLED model are improved in terms of grip, but they still feel awkward to me, especially in first-person games. Because of this, grabbing this pack of thumbsticks from Skull & Co was a great idea. They're super cheap, and I recommend you give the 3 height options a try to see which you like most. Me personally, I like the feel of the tallest ones, and while it doesn't make it feel quite as good as a proper controller, it's still a significant improvement. Getting them on is a little tough though, so just make sure it's covering the entirety of the stick. Now, this next accessory is mostly an aesthetic upgrade, but it does have an added benefit. This is another product from JSOCK, and it's a clear back case replacement. This works with both the OLED and LCD models and lets you see the inside of the deck. I think it looks really cool, but you also have additional back button replacements that you can choose from. I think this is a major selling point, as in my opinion, the stock buttons, while not bad, are a little hard to hit at times. I put on the tallest ones, and this makes for a more ergonomic feel. Installing the shell was honestly really easy, and they give you a pick and prying tool that makes taking off the stock case safe and quick. It's on there really tight though, because since I put it on, I've not been able to get it back off. Also, just remember, if you are using a micro SD card, please take that out first. So the case comes with a screwdriver that I used to swap out the buttons, but to loosen the ones actually on the deck, I had to use my electric one. This though is a great buy, not only for my deck, but any tech products that you want to take apart. I'll have a link to it and everything else down below. Another benefit the deck has over the Ally in specific is much better battery life. I can easily drain the Ally in just over an hour, but the Steam Deck in certain games can hit 4 to 5. Though if you're playing anything recent and or demanding, realistically you're looking at a bit over 2 hours. This is fine for a lot of the time, but for longer commutes, this Anker power bank is a great purchase. It's 24,000 milliamp hours, which in my use I found to provide about a charge and a half. It is TSA safe, and I think it's pretty much the highest capacity that you can fly with. What's also cool about it is the LED screen that shows you the battery percentage along with the current power output. You can of course charge the deck with it, but at the same time there's an additional USB-C port that you can use for your phone. When plugging into it, these vertical adapters from JSOX are a great pickup. Now I went with the 512GB version of the deck because I wanted the glossy over the anti-glare display. Because of this, I bought a 1TB drive from Corsair, but if you don't care about the screen, doing this upgrade only saves you about 10 to 15 bucks, so it's probably not worth the hassle of formatting and installing the drive. If you do want to though, you'll need a USB stick like this one from SanDisk. For ease of use, a micro SD card might be preferred, but if you plan to grab that JSOC stock, they actually have a slightly more expensive version that has a built-in M.2 slot. So as I keep mentioning, the deck for me is largely a travel device, and that's because of just how nice it is to fly with. No joke, I used to drive 12 hours to my parents every few months just so that I could have my PC. When I was flying a few weeks back, I took the deck in TomTalk's Wandersling, and this was great to have as a carry-on. I'm really excited to have them sponsoring this video, as I've bought and used multiple of their products in the past, and they're really good. Usually when I fly, I'd stick a bag underneath the seat, which made everything hard to get at, but this time around I did have my Peak Design bag to carry my camera, but within this sling I had my phone, Kindle, and the deck all in a slim profile that was easy to access. Within the blue interior, you of course have room to slip the deck, but in the back pocket, I found there was plenty of room for my pocket journal and the Kindle. I had the deck enclosed in their hardshell case, which is super thin but kept it protected. This was also nice to have around when taking off the back case so that I didn't put pressure on the joysticks. Just note that depending on what mods you make, it may not fit, as this is designed to be as thin as possible and perfectly fit the deck as it comes out of the box. Now on the outside of the sling, I slipped my phone and wallet into the front pocket and my USB-C cable to charge everything in the back. This nylon material makes for a very high quality build, and the locking mechanism the sling uses allows you to easily pop off the strap in case you'd rather carry it by the handle. If you're looking for something a little bigger, they also have a carrying case with a padded section that you can keep the deck, leaving lots of room for a power bank and any accessories. So these are the best accessories I found for the Steam Deck that are actually worth it and make using this device so much nicer. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you want to see the setup I used when taking this on a week-long trip last month, go and watch this video next. Take care.